So, just want to take a minute here and talk about my new Broadwingers. I thought you guys might want to know a little bit more information here. Mainly, I want to talk about the break-in on these. I've talked with Chris about it, and he says people sometimes complain when they first get them because they're not used to them. You know, they spent all this money, they put them on. They're not used to what they're feeling. These will be snug right across the top of your foot. You know, from this point here right across to here. And it naturally stretches, and really after the first day or two, it's pretty much a solved issue. You don't have the same issues with break-in that you find in a traditional pair of work boots. Okay, your normal work boots are going to have a heel rise here or a heel. They're going to have a steel shank inside the sole. I mean, super stiff, non-flexible sole. Your toes are going to be squeezed together in the toe box, and there's no flexibility. Look at the flexibility here. These are brand new. Look at this. I can squat down, and look, I'm bending my toes inside here, and my toes are splaying out inside the toe box, which is exactly what I wanted. Right? These are more like sneakers. They're like sneaker slipper work boots. And again, zero rise. It's flat in here. There's no arch. Those of you who think that you need arch supports and you're wearing orthotics in your shoes, are you comfortable when you're barefoot? If you're not wearing a shoe and you're walking around barefoot, do you feel better? If that's the case, this is what you should be doing. You should be going to barefoot minimalist shoes, because this right here is the closest thing you can get. This is literally the same thing as being barefoot. My feet are just sitting on this thick piece of leather supported by this little bit of cushion here, and that's it. The whole top of my foot is protected by super thick bison hide. These are going to last me the rest of my life. I can always resole them. The kilties are goofy. I made these in about 5 minutes freehand. I don't care. I like the way that looks all janky like that. That's just my kind of thing. I dig on that. There's a little discoloration on this toe here. That doesn't bother me. Now, I'll be honest, my first pair in the chocolate had a really thick, nappy rough out to the leather, which I kind of prefer, but every hide's going to be different. These didn't come that way. This is more like the rough out you'll see on the old World War II boot. And back then what they would do is they would oil this, and then the rough would come back through after a while, and you could rough them up with a stiff brush. I'll probably do that with these. I did waterproof these last night, though, with a spray. Again, I'm just going to bend down here, show you the flexibility of the sole. And also, again, you'll see it's a Vibram. Oopsie. It's a Vibram sole here on the bottom. Love them. Love, 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 love the way they feel. They already feel great. When I was walking in the other pair of Broadwingers, they had it's not super hard rubber, but it's a thick rubber sole that's from a lawnmower tire. And when I walked, you would kind of feel, or you would hear the shoe as you walked hit the ground. And these are like ninja shoes. They're so quiet, other than the leather creaking a little. But that'll go away as well, just with wear. Yeah, so that's about it. You know, I don't normally talk about this, but people have been asking about tattoos. I'm not going to talk about all my tattoos, but I will mention this one here. This is from a book called The Dynasty of Western Outlaws. It's the Outlaw Coat of Arms. I don't know what you guys can see there, but that's what that is. If you check that book out, I recommend it if you're into that sort of thing. It follows Quantrill's Raiders and Jesse James all the way up to through Belle Starr and the Cole Younger gang, all of it, all the way up to Machine Gun Kelly in the 1930s. Great book. And when you open it up, there's a family tree drawing, and this is in the corner. And I used to live a different type of lifestyle. You guys probably have picked up on that. So that's a great. It was a great book, and I saw that, and I thought it was kind of neat. That's where that came from. So, but anyhow, I don't know what else I could tell you. you guys can see. You guys have eyeballs. You can see the quality. This is all hand stitched. Well made. Obviously made in the USA. Again, this is bison hide. It's naturally more water resistant than cowhide and other leathers. Show you the flexibility again of these things. Really is amazing. Right out of the box, I mean, they're only going to get more flexible. It will get to the point where the bottom of the sole will take on the shape of your foot. You'll see that this part where your arch naturally is won't be worn. And again, if you've got foot issues, knee issues, ankle issues, hip issues, lower back, back issues in general, and you've never tried barefoot shoes, give it a shot. Pretty good chance it's going to solve all your problems. This orthotics nonsense is nonsense. I was prescribed them as well. I had all sorts of issues over the years. I've tried everything. Going to the Barefoot Minimalist shoe changed my life. And that's why I'm so passionate about it, and I'm trying to turn you guys onto it. Not necessarily, Chris. You can buy Lems. There are store-bought, whatever. There are companies out there that produce barefoot shoes. So, don't spend a lot of money. Get a pair of those. Start wearing them and see how it changes your life. Not everybody needs a heavy-duty pair of shoes like this. But if you're a working man or woman, you're on the farm, you're in the forest, you're on job sites, and you need heavy-duty, thick leather to protect your feet from injury and all sorts of other things, but you also prefer the barefoot thing, and it's, you're on the same page as I'm at, then this is what you want. And just, save your shekels there, as they say, and then eventually get yourself a pair. Sell something, man. You can't go wrong. The look isn't for everybody, but the look, as far as the shape, that's based on your foot. Right? My toes are pretty much, straight across on the front there, so that's why mine look like flippers. That's just how they are. If you've got that toe that sticks out, past your big toe, you're going to have a more rounded toe. If you ask Chris, to do that for you, he'll probably do it. It's just you have a lot of excess space there that you're not using. He'll do almost anything you ask him, but I will tell you, he's really big on the barefoot thing. He understands the science of it. He's going to try to steer you in the right direction. But at the same time, if you're paying for it, he's going to pretty much do what you ask him to. So again, there's really no break-in process with these, other than you understanding it's going to feel snug right across the top of your foot when you first start wearing them. I did put the 1/8 inch cork in these right off the bat. You can see I'm wearing a thick sock here, right? Clear as day. Doing all this on purpose. I prefer a thick sock. I prefer a wool sock, even in the warm months. Believe it or not, your feet are actually drier. So, I like natural products. Of course, there's no such thing these days I could find as a 100% pure wool sock. There's obviously some nylon in these, which I don't like, but that's just how it is. So, I'm going to let you guys go. I got to get to work. I got about 7 boards left to sand out. I'll be priming those Monday morning and then getting them up this week, hopefully. So that's it for now. If you have any questions, feel free. It's Broadwinger.com. His website, there's not really much there, but there is a page. It's got his contact information. Instagram is best. If you do hashtag Broadwinger, you will see pictures from everybody else who owns them, as well as pictures he's posted up. And obviously at Broadwinger, Broadwinger, Broadwinger. That comes from his dad is a falcon. He's in the falconry. He's a falconer, and guy actually hunts with falcons. Goes out and finds them, raises them, trains them. Pretty cool stuff. These are real dudes, man, running around the wilderness in Broadwingers. And the people that own these love them. one of his clients actually hiked the Himalayas in a pair of Broadwingers in Nepal. And he was the only guy that had no foot issues at the end of every day. And everybody who was with him was blown away by that fact. So, you know, don't believe me. You know, do your research, look into it. Look into the barefoot shoe movement. Those of you telling me that you prefer Red Wing and all that, if you can wear Red Wings or any other commercially produced product and you've got no issues, no knee issues, ankle issues, back issues, good for you. Then you don't need these. You absolutely don't need these. You're a fortunate person. But there's a lot of people out there who end up having issues, usually later in life. If you're, you know, under 40 and you're telling me you're not having any issues, that's because you're under 40. Put another 15 years in on your feet in those boots and then talk to me. Because that's what happened to me. Anyhow, look, I'll let you guys go. Like I always say, be good to one another. Try to be kind. I know it's not always easy. It's not always easy for me. But I'm working on it, you know. I'll catch you guys in the next video.